rated. They're having some of the lowest rated numbers ever, but we have to now compare it to the rest of Housewives. Atlanta is, to me, like when New York has good weeks, everyone still knows it's not good. And Andy knows it, and the powers that be know it. Like, people, for the most part, are liking Atlanta. Now, a lot of people are pissed about Kenya leaving. I'm pissed about Kenya leaving. I'm pissed about Britt being there. But it is, to me, a great season compared to the last two seasons. And Marlo and Sheree and Sanya, it just didn't work. No shade to those people. So, to me, Atlanta, one of the reasons New Jersey, I think, is paused for the whole year is not only let the dust settle between Teresa and Melissa. Two, we don't know what the fuck we're going to do. We don't know what to do. Three, the show was, I really still think the show is paused because they don't want to bring Teresa back. I do, because she's so closely tied to the show. The more time that goes on, we don't have any show. I really think they're going to bring this back without her. I've said it before. I mean, I did a whole show in the beginning about how she was going to come back. I still see Melissa and Dolores as being the anchors for the new show, and Fuda and Cabral, both one of them or some combination thereof. To me, Atlanta is working with OGs, Portia, Kenya, and I'm throwing Drew in there. She's someone from the past. It's so interesting to see the old, interact with the new. I know Kenya's gone, but that wasn't the plan. So I really feel that is the plan for New Jersey. And I really feel the year pause was not just to get us over of associating RHONJ with Teresa, but also just let's see what happens in these people's lives. I think there's nothing Jennifer Aiden could do. I think there's nothing Margaret can do that would bring them back to the show, Jackie. But we don't, and I understand the argument, like, wow, this is securing Teresa a place on New Jersey. Look at all this real drama. The thing is, it's different if the show is going on and this happens. Yes, we followed this before with Teresa. So first of all, no one wants to see this play out, really. But the difference is if the show were already filming and it's 10th season or whatever it is, yeah, we would follow this story with Teresa. We would follow the story with Erica Jane. Look what happened with Tom. That's different. That's a current housewife show with a current housewife. We're going to follow it. We're going to see where it goes. We are not bringing back Teresa and Louis to this show to have a bunch of newbies and Melissa, or a bunch of newbies and Dolores and Fuda and everyone whispering, look what's going on with Teresa. It's too toxic. It's not what they want. I mean, Atlanta is working because it's a true ensemble. I mean, Britt has problems with Kenya. Kelly has problems with Portia. Portia and Shamia are now having problems where Portia just said, oh, is that Drew singing? Girl, you know very well it's Shamia. Drew is having problems with Portia. Drew is in love. She's so thrilled that everyone is coming for her. She's just happy to be there. Everyone, Angela's about to have a problem with Portia. Portia tells us she's heard stuff about Charles Oakley. Well, so is Wendy Williams. It's a true ensemble. On Beverly Hills, Erica is having a problem with Sutton. Kyle is having a problem with Sutton. Now Kyle is having a problem with Garcelle. Garcelle is having a problem with Dorit. That's an ensemble show. We're not pausing New Jersey and bringing it back to have the whole thing be about the downfall of Teresa Giudice. Like, that is not the reboot. That is not the revamped, paused for a whole year RHONJ that they want. When they bring in new people that are not associated with Juicy or Teresa or with Killy or Staub or the Manzos. It's a whole new thing. It's going to feel, Atlanta feels fresh. So that's what they're going to do. They want an ensemble cast. They don't want some big, dark elephant, dark cloud hanging over one's head. It's not going to work. They don't want that in their revamped, rebooted, half old, half new cast of New Jersey. They just don't. Could it be a spinoff? I don't know, because the thing is, episode 1, Louis and Teresa have tax issues. Episode 2, they have loan issues. What is episode 3? I mean, these shows, as Andy reminds us all the time, are aspirational. They're a group of women that are aspirational and friends, and I just don't see it. So I really do not. I don't think this saying that these tax problems in the loan will cost her her RHONJ future. I think that is a overstatement because I personally don't think Teresa was coming back anyway. You look at Melissa, and we're not going to have time to talk about this today, but if you look at Melissa, I'm really team nobody, guys, I promise you. But Melissa is posting TikToks and she's hanging on to the little guy, Joey G, and she's hanging on to Big Frank the Tank, and they're swinging her around and she's dancing. I'm well aware that there's a People article that she made $500,000 in 3 months from her sprinkle cookies. We're going to have to talk about that next time. But this is a whole I'm sorry. I don't care if you're a tree hugger. I promise you, I have nothing against Teresa. I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, I'm happy to talk crap about Melissa and say good things about Teresa. But I mean, when this is happening and tax liens and loans and this and that, and this is happening that she makes $500,000 and that's a staged article. They obviously called people and let's kick Teresa when she's down. We'll get into this next time. But I'm sorry, one person is aspirational and living their best life after Housewives and is on brand for the show when it comes back. So I do think that all this financial hoopla is going to cost Teresa her future. I don't think she would have been back anyway, but I think it's kind of like the nail in the coffin. That's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. And I really believe that. I don't think it's like, oh, this is such an interesting, it's not what people want to watch. We don't want to, I mean, since when does Bravo lean into the real dark stuff? I mean, Kim Richards is an alcoholic. We get rid of her. This thing happens. You think we want Brandy Glanville back at this point? I pray for Brandy with everything she's going through with her health, but you get my point. So I actually think it is going to cost her the job. Teresa has now gone on to slam Bethany Frankel. She slams her as dangerous, and she slams her as miserable. And let me see, hold on. There's something else she has slammed her as. Horrible. Sorry. She has slammed Bethany as, I had to like read my notes there. She slammed Bethany as horrible. Teresa's now, she went on some podcast. I have no idea what podcast. And she said that she prays for all the evilness around her and that it came to her attention that Bethany was talking about her and she blocked Bethany and she didn't even know this. And she slams back at Bethany that she laughs at her. So she laughs at Bethany and is saying that, she agrees with Dolores and, that you are just an evil, evil woman. And it was sent to her and she wouldn't even know. And she says she laughs at Bethany. Well, let me tell you something. Here's where Teresa lies. Here's where she lies, okay? Because I've seen this stuff with my very own eyes. She says, she would never, ever bother. She would never bother to go to such a negative length to comment on someone else. Like, are we in the fucking Twilight Zone? Here's where I'm gonna get angry. Are we in the fucking Twilight Zone? I mean, and that when she sees negative comments on Instagram, she either blocks, and then after she's done blocking, she reports. Now, I don't know girl. I mean, I mean, Donald Trump is all about free speech over here, sweetheart. Isn't that your guy? So, although he ain't helping Juicy get back into the country. I love Juicy, but it's kind of the exact opposite. I think Juicy has a less chance of getting back into the country. I mean, we're actually now currently deporting everyone. So let's not talk politics here today, people. I'm just saying that, she says in this interview on some podcast that I don't know